Thank you very much. The invitation came from my partner, Ann Buffet. Ann, stand up and say hello. And so it's my job tonight to give you some perspective on another college system that you're going to be interacting with shortly. So Ms. Vickers gave you the information, and actually the school in general does a very good job of giving you the information about how to apply to colleges, right? So that's the college application system. Everybody has an intuitive understanding of what that is. It's sort of like, as an adult, we can think about it as going for a job interview, right? We take our resume, you get your resume all set up, you take your resume in, you dress up in your best clothes, and you put your best foot forward, and you ask the employer if they will hire you, right? So the college application system works the same way. You're putting on your best suit and getting your resume ready, and you're taking it to the college, and you're saying, will you please accept me? So that's a complicated system and a complex system, so you need some steering through it, so the guidance office is here to help you with that. The next system, the one that it's my responsibility to tell you about, is just as complex and just as complicated. So complicated, in fact, that they have to have a financial advisor who deals with people's finances every day come and explain how to interact with this system. So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And we're going to fly because we have about half an hour. And that event's too far. There we go. So what we're going to cover tonight, I just hit on as much of the admissions system as I'm going to. That's a system that you all understand, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the cost of college attendance. And when I say the cost of college attendance, I want you to think sticker price, okay? We're going to talk about the real cost of attendance, like the mitigated price. Now I can't see you anymore, but we'll do fine. The aid that's available to people, students and families, the financial aid forms that are going to help us interact with this system, the free application for federal student aid, also known as the FAFSA, and the CSS profile, and the number that comes out the bottom of those forms called the expected family contribution, or the EFC. We're going to talk a little bit about 529 plans, and I'm going to give you some resources to take home with you. So I'm going to start by getting your mind right, helping you to get your mind right about how this system works. And I always do this by telling a story, and the story is about you. You're going to wake up tomorrow morning and decide that you need a new car. It's just time. Yours is getting older, it doesn't run as well, the maintenance costs are going up, doesn't have the same shine. You're tired of it, so you've decided that you're going to go get a new car. They just built a new dealership in town. It has every make and every model that's available in the United States at this dealership. So you're going to go down there on Saturday morning and pick out your new car. You don't know exactly how much you can spend, and you don't know exactly what you want, but you do know that you're going to buy a car on Saturday. So you're excited the rest of the week. You get up early, you have a good breakfast, you drive down to the dealership, you get out of the car slowly, but no one approaches you. You're safe. You can wander the lot in peace. So you start walking through these beautiful, shining, fantastic new cars. You're leaning in, looking at the sticker price on a Tahoe, and then you stand up and you see it 2 rows over. The Oldsmobile Buick Mac Daddy, midnight blue. It is beautiful. And you decide right then and right there, that's the one you want. So you walk over to the Mac Daddy, you approach it from the front, you walk past the driver's side window, you get to the driver's side rear window, and what do you see? The sticker price, right? 2 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper or bigger, full of little tiny text and a big bold number down at the bottom. So you lean in, you catch your breath. It's $1 jillion. You think, my goodness, that's expensive, but I love this car. I have to have this car. So you steel yourself and you go off in search of a salesperson. The salesman's standing over there like this, because he's seen that look before. He knows you've picked out your new car. So you approach the salesman and you say, sir, I love the Mac Daddy. It's absolutely beautiful, but it is really expensive. What do you think you can do for me? The salesman looks you up and down. Says, you know what? I like you. You are obviously a savvy consumer, so I'll tell you what I'm going to do. If you'll go get me all of your household financial data, the information about any financial accounts that you have, your 401k, your 457, any Roth accounts that you have. Oh yeah, and I'm going to need your most recent tax return. I'll take all that to my sales manager, and we'll see what we can do. I lost you, right? That is not the way to enter a negotiation. So, that's exactly what you're doing. If you pick out the shiny college on the hill, fill out the FAFSA, and let them tell you how much it's going to cost. I'm going to tell you how to interact with that system intelligently. We have a bunch of major expenditures in our lives. Most people understand the first three of these. We've got taxes. Everybody knows approximately what your tax burden is going to be, when it's due, all that stuff. You know you've got your mortgage, you know how much your house costs, you know how much you're going to pay for it by the end of the sum of payments. It's just an expected expense. We know about this. We know we're going to have to retire one day, or we're going to step away from a high-paying job. We know that's exactly what I help people with every day. We can project what you're going to need. It's a known expense. This one comes up in the middle of your life when you are utterly overwhelmed, right? I've been married for 22 years. My wife and I have 4 children. Our daughter, our oldest, is now a sophomore in college. We're about to take her back up there this weekend. And this caught me almost completely off guard, right? I've been raising kids. I coach a lot of stuff. I spend time with my family. We're involved in church. All of a sudden, I get the sticker price from the college that's $42,000 a year. $42,000 a year, right? This one catches us off guard. What's 42 times 4? 16. 160 something, right? $168,000 for a college career. Can anybody pay that? Does anybody pay that? All right, so this is the admission system. This is the putting on of your suit, the getting ready of the resume, and the going and presenting yourself to the college to see if they will accept you. And if they accept you, here's the sticker price. We have a house divided. I graduated from Auburn. My wife also graduated from Auburn. Our house is not divided. But as you can see here, the total in-state tuition, these big banners down at the bottom, somewhere between $27,000 and $28,000 per student per year. That's the in-state price. The out-of-state price is 44 to 46, right? Astronomical numbers. Those are the sticker prices. For a public university in the Southeast, and generally all over the United States, that's approximately how much they cost. They vary a little bit. Sanford University, right here in Birmingham, private university, typical private university in the Southeast. I don't mean typical by quality, I mean typical by price. Somewhere in the neighborhood of $42,000 to $47,000 a year. The more expensive private institutions in the Northeast or out west go upwards of $65,000 to $70,000 a year. Sticker price. So, I need to set up that slide. So, these are the sticker prices for these colleges. How do the colleges make it affordable for people to come to their schools? We're going to talk about the different types of aid available to students, families, households, that colleges use, or the system uses, in order to help you afford these numbers, right? So this pie chart represents all of the financial aid given out on a national level, okay? So the first one we're going to talk about is institutional aid, which is 21% of our pie chart there, right? Pretty big chunk. This is money that the school has on its own, right? It is money the school has. They can divide it up and use it however they want to. It comes in the form of grants and scholarships. So when I say scholarships, you can think merit-based, right? I have a 32 on the ACT, I have a 3.7 GPA, the school is going to offer me a scholarship to come there. That makes sense, right? A grant, which can come out of the same pool of money, a grant is something that is based on the need of the family, okay? The need of the family. We're going to get to exactly how they derive that need in a minute. This is free money, my favorite kind. It does not have to be repaid. It's generally awarded for 4 years, or it's awarded for 1 year with 3 renewals. Everybody hear me on that? So, like 4 years. What do you think the national graduation rate, 4-year graduation rate, is for colleges in the United States? Throw out a number. What's that? 45, a little bit high. It's about 35. 35% of students, college students, graduate in 4 years. If the aid package is available for 4 years, what do you think happens in the 5th year? They already have you, right? You're not going to transfer after you've got 4 years of credits with the university. It's likely the aid package would go away. Let's see. Moving on on to, this is a good opportunity for me to explain how some of these scholarships work. So, the University of Alabama is up here. I have not put the Auburn University up here. Their scholarships work in a little bit different way, but I'm going to briefly go over this. Alabama has something I call hardwired scholarships. If the student fits the criteria listed here for the Crimson Achievement Scholar, which is a 3.5 GPA at least, and a 25 or better on the ACT, they are going to be offered the Achievement Scholarship, right? $2,000 a year. At Alabama, for the Presidential Scholarship, if the student meets the GPA 3.5 and the ACT requirement, which is a minimum of a 32, it's also hardwired. No matter what else is going on, as long as they got accepted, they're going to get the Presidential Scholarship. That's the way it works at the University of Alabama. Auburn is different. Auburn has that lower level scholarship too, which is hardwired. As long as the student meets the criteria, they get the scholarship. However, for the Presidential Scholarship at Auburn, you go in, if you meet the criteria, you go into a pool of applicants and there's a competitive process in order to select the Presidential Scholarship winners, right? So that's two state schools in Alabama that do things differently. Did you guys hear me on that? It's different from school to school. They're both state. You'd think they'd be the same, but they do it differently. You need to read the website carefully. All right, so moving on to our next form of aid, private aid. 7% of aid given out on a national level. This comes in the forms of grants and scholarships, mostly merit-based scholarships. This is everything from your local hospital to a local car dealership to a national organization like Coke that will give out these scholarships. They have their own criteria. There's an application process. I call this the Hustle Award because the student has to fill out all the stuff and submit for it, and maybe they will get some. It's real money though, $500 to about $5,000 per year. Depends on what the scholarship is. The one interesting thing about the scholarship is that it does not renew. You guys hear me? It's a one-year award. So, sometimes a school which has been informed that a student has won a local scholarship, like one of these, will reduce an aid package by the exact dollar amount the local scholarship was for. Did you guys hear me on that? So if you go for local scholarships, you need to know how the school is going to interact with that scholarship when the time comes. Because the school would give you a scholarship for 4 years, one of these organizations gives you a scholarship for 1 year. The danger is that you've reduced your institutional aid for 4 years and only gotten a 1-year benefit from a private scholarship. I should have mentioned, you guys probably picked up some forms outside that say Morgan Stanley on top. Because I can't take questions and this is a complicated topic, you guys are welcome to write down those questions and bring the information to me down here or see us out at the college fair shortly. Pell Grants. So we've gone from the area of institutional money to the area of federal money. Pell Grant is federal money. It accounts for about 14% of aid given out on the national level. It's free money. It does not have to be repaid. This is a need-based. This has no merit in it whatsoever. This is all based on the family or the student's need, okay? As long as the EFC, and when I say EFC, you think the amount they think I can pay. Everybody say that with me. EFC means the amount that they think I can pay, okay? So as long as your EFC is below $6,000, then you qualify for a Pell Grant. Great thing about these is a lot of times schools will kick in some institutional money to go along with a Pell Grant. So oftentimes students in this category can essentially go to college with no cost. It's not uncommon for that to happen. Now to the biggest slice of our pie. It's the biggest slice because it's used by the most people, okay? This is the Federal Student Loan Program, Stafford Loan Program. It goes by different names. It's all part of one thing. It's administered by an agency with the federal government, and it accounts for almost half of the aid that students receive to go to college. Notice that I said this is a loan, and the college considers it to be aid. Do you guys hear me on that? This is a component of financial aid according to the school. All right. So, it must be repaid, right? The way these loans work is that you can take out the loans to pay for the school costs. You don't owe a payment on that loan until 6